Hey graduates, wagwan, wagwan. I am back. I am back in the UK. Yes, I am. I have literally been away for about a month, haven't I? And I can only say to my loyal subscribers and followers, big up on a nice, clean self. I notice I want to just sit and just stand out there. I want to not go away, As somebody knows that me have to rate, Yes, even those of you, my special members, you never once cancelled your membership. This is how I know that you people are loyal to the bone, and that's why I love trust and believe. So yes, this is all about a touch of class with HTK for this new season of YouTube appearances. We are going to be discussing all things topical, but with a touch of class. Yes, we're not gonna go down this no more. We finish with all of them bangarang there and mix up and blend, but you don't know, we are not going to avoid any topic, no matter how controversial it may be. So just to say, Jamaica was fantastic. It was good to me in many ways. I went down for serious reasons. Jamaica was about me saying goodbye to a very close family relative and putting that person to rest. It was very emotional, quite challenging, but I got through it and I'm still going through it. That person will be missed forever. However, in the midst of that, I made sure that I reconnected, and grounded myself. I went everywhere, all over, all about, link up with family, friends. It was just it was so good. It was good to get away because trust and believe, sometimes you need home. Yeah, to remind you of where you're coming from so that you can go forward. Yeah, man. I see him, so it's set. But don't think for one moment I haven't been paying attention to all the excitement that has been happening on social media. I have been listening, I have been watching and observing, but obviously keeping myself out of it. Most of it I'm drinking water, minding my business, coming a business with nobody business while I'm on holiday. Because hello, Jamaica nice. It's much nicer than all of that. I don't have time. But you know what I'm going to say? I have been paying particular attention to a recent kind of series of events, which is not unpredictable because I did predict it. And if you were to really go back into my videos, my previous lives and stuff I've done, I have mentioned that this was coming. So the big fallout between particular bloggers online, the to and fro, if you notice, most of us bloggers are saying absolutely nothing about it. We are avoiding the topic. Why? Because when it is that you have got colleagues who have fallen out, it really isn't our place to pass judgment or to choose any sides. They must know why they're going at each other. But there are lessons to be learned, as always, in everyday activities that we see taking place on social media. The biggest lesson to be learned from all of this is about when friends become enemies. All secrets get thrown out. Everything that is known about the person becomes a weapon. And that is an absolute shame that we have to get to that level. But it is what it is, because you don't know, say, all is fair in love and war. But in all of this, graduates, this is my take on such matters. You see, we are keeping ourselves on a higher level. And that is not about us thinking that we're better than anybody else, It's about the fact that we want to keep focused on more positive things that are, better for our spirit, better for our mentality. And it really is about them pushing through whatever disagreements they have on their own until they come out on the other side. Because it have to stop, people. It can't carry on like that. It have to stop. Once everything chat, what more will there be? I have reflected quite a bit while I was away. And I said to myself, what are all these divisions for? Why do we dislike some of the people that we claim to dislike? Usually it's because of the fact that they have presented perspectives that are against people that we like or we hold in high esteem. But really and truly, when it boils down to it, do we know these people in our real life? We don't. And perhaps if we saw them in the streets, we wouldn't even have a confrontation with them. It would be a greeting, and by the time you look, you might end up being friends. I'm not kidding. This is what life is like. So my whole approach is, listen, I'm not choosing any sides with anybody. If I dislike you, I'm going to dislike you off of my own experiences, not off of somebody else's experiences. I'm not going to buy out people's arguments and decide that, listen, me I go war with you because you're at war with somebody who I like. Because really and truly, in a real life, I don't know you and you don't know me. Now, of course, there's always going to be silly banter between bloggers. It's kind of a part of the spice of social media. And I had this really funny discussion with somebody who was on my Facebook page when Miss T Lady decided that she wanted to come and take me on. It was laughable. Honestly, I was not even angry. So the person came on my page and they were like, HTK, I'm so disappointed with you. I thought you were better than this and that you were a breath of fresh air. And look at you getting yourself all caught up with the negativity. And I'm just like, lady, if you know how much I'm laughing over here, you'd realize that it really isn't that serious. Now, some of us do take these things way too seriously. And sometimes it's just about, sitting back, enjoying the ride, having a laugh, moving on. I am not going to sit here and get myself all worked up in a state over what some woman in some random place who has no idea who I am has to say. May throw my word back, yes, because hello, word make for true. But it really isn't that deep, and I think that when it gets serious is when people start to cross lines and go into people's personal lives and start to do things like reach out to where you work or where you stay or try to stop your bread and all those kind of things. And I'm not about that life. It isn't the kind of thing that I do. Even if T Lady has been accused of such, I genuinely don't have any evidence of that. That is what people say. That is what people have experiences of, and that's how they hold her in their thinking to be prone to do. That's not me. So, I will say whatever I have to say and I'll move on. And yes, me will laugh off of you when me see a reason for laugh off of you because you interfere with me first. And that's how it go. But it isn't that deep. Trust and believe. And I always say that, listen, you need to accept that your social media personalities are multifaceted, multi-layered. We have different sides to us that all comes together to create the personality that you guys like to listen to and like to watch, right? None of us are perfect. None of us are, these picture perfect beings that will never make a mistake, right? Speaking of which, I listened to Your Majesty's recent video that he did, and he subtitled that as "Why Am I Not Celebrated?" So, he's another person who I have been watching quite keenly since the whole pasa with the black tie event on the 13th of July. And yes, I did do a very quick live on my Facebook addressing that, and I shared my opinion about how everything went down and the disappointment that I felt as well because of everything that took place. And, I left it at that really, because I am not about constantly persecuting somebody when they make a mistake. And I genuinely believe that Your Majesty has shown himself to be very, very much a Donna Marie Go supporter, right? He has never tried, I think, to tear her down in any way since he has moved on from his associations with other people in the past. And it seems as though that has set the tone, unfortunately, for YMK's presence on the internet. People will think whatever they think, Chris. And I think it's time for you to realize that you will be celebrated by those who matter. Okay? You can't expect to be celebrated by everybody. I am not celebrated by everybody. I don't think... hello, nobody out here is celebrated by everybody. You're going to have your supporters and you're going to have your celebrators, but you need to pay attention to those positive voices and nothing else. Because otherwise you're going to get caught up in a circle of negativity, and it's never going to end. You try to rationalize it, trying to figure out why it is that they're always quick to see your downfall and your demise and to use that for content, etc. Stick a pin. Everybody uses everything for content. Hello. you just literally used your situation for content. So, it is a part and parcel of the whole thing of being a social media influencer or blogger. You are going to use every situation for content because, hello, why are you out here if you're not doing that? However, I think the real reason is why you are getting these kind of, tear downs or cuss outs or whatever you want to call it. is an I told you so moment. In other words, people are connecting the dots with their preconceived notions of you based on how you were presented to Planker Shop. And they are saying that essentially they have suspected that you have not changed. So don't be surprised when you have people who will always be a doubtful Thomas where you're concerned, or where any of us are concerned, because everybody have their kind of suspicions about anyone around this lady, and you are no different. So when it's your turn, you gotta go through the fire. When it's my turn, I gotta go through the fire. Everybody will have their moments when them go through the fire, because there are people out there who are always going to be suspicious and always going to think that your intentions are negative and you're there to use the lady and so on, and they're claiming to do it in her name or to protect her, but even that in itself has a grain of salt where I'm concerned. And really and truly, should we care? Should anybody care? Should we care? It shouldn't really have an impact unless it starts to affect your mental health and it starts to affect your earnings. Now, this is where it gets quite serious, because allegations that are made online can cross over into real life. And I find it very unfortunate, some of the things that have been said about you and have been said about your business. I don't like it. I don't respect it. But I can't say, oh, come out and fight your cause and so on. Because really and truly, as I said in my previous live, you did do things and said things that would have instigated reactions from the camp of doubtful Thomases. So once you have done something, just understand that there's going to be consequences for it, right? And the consequences may be overwhelming, but is what them call a 9-day talk. It have to die down. It have to die down. And when you come out and then you start to make these little comments by calling them little names and all these kind of things, hurry come up, whatever. Me never know the exact word. Maybe me I tell like I can't remember the exact insults, but then it's gonna be like adding fuel to the fire, right? And I don't know if that's necessarily worth it. Because some people's mindsets can't be changed like that. They will think what they want to think. And when you listen to some of the arguments, you can hear some deep-seated biases towards your sexuality. It has never been hidden. These kind of slurs towards you being gay has always been there. And even when it wasn't directed at you, it was directed at other people. So why would you be any different as a out and out homosexual man, right? Okay, so I saw the thing set. And like I said, all of this has made me quite sad, graduates, because I said to myself, boy, if it's one thing I would love to see is a certain amount of unity amongst us as Jamaicans when it comes to celebrating great ones amongst us. And this is not aimed at the people who are gunning for YMK, It's aimed at all of us, really, because each and every one of us have a certain amount of accountability as to what takes place on social media. And like I said, the timing of certain things, the way things are said, all of that will come back and bite you at some point. And we have to just face those demons when they come across, and it can take away from the positivity that's being done. I listened to the whole thing between YMK, Ashanti 360, and none of it has given me any kind of pleasure. None of it has entertained me in any way, shape, or form. Because really and truly, these are two men who celebrate one lady. And in that celebration, there should be some type of respect. And it is a shame that that respect has gone downhill. I'm not going to say more so on whose side or whatever. They are grown-ass men. They're supposed to know exactly who did what. But it would be nice to see them just get to a point where it's like, listen, I'm not into you, you're not into me. We'll go our separate ways and we avoid each other. purely out of respect for this lady's name and what she's doing so that there's less negativity around her. I don't know who's going to get to that level of maturity first. And it would be nice to see that it takes place and nobody adds any kind of fuel to the fire. Including myself. I'm probably add fuel to the fire with this blogger to backside. But anyway, I saw it go. But yeah, going back to my experience in Jamaica, you know, one of the things that I was so pleased to see was how developed Kingston has become. And it's actually inspired us to start, you know, investing in the country a little bit more, because I can see some genuine improvements in systems, in structures, you know, in processes and services in our island. That's made me extremely proud. Spending an extended period of time there and going into the environments that I can see myself becoming established in has given me a renewed sense of inspiration. And as such, I think that sometimes we have to think about where best to invest our energies, where there will be returns. That's the lesson from that. You have got to truly know a situation and know a person before you can walk away with a full understanding of what makes them tick, right? And it's important that we do not rush to judge each other without knowing each other first. But the internet is not necessarily the best place to do that, because if I was to just look at what social media and what the internet presented me about my island, I wouldn't be as inspired as I am now, having been on the ground for an extended period of time. So here I have a situation where you've got two bloggers who are supposed to be in the same camp, going at each other. One blatantly being very, very disrespectful about the things that are being said, and the other one feeling as though they're not being regarded because there must be some kind of, you know, underlying deep-seated resentment that they're not quite sure what it is. And I'm just thinking, you both don't know each other. You don't know each other at all. And perhaps you are not the type of people that would ever cross paths in a real life. But the common ground that you have is somebody that you both celebrate. And out of respect for this one lady, if you can't actually meet in the middle, just go separate ways and let it be still. That would be an amazing thing to see. You understand? Now, many people have said, but HTK, why is it that you have not come out and done Ashanti 360 and, you know, see how him did do whatever and whatever? Listen, I don't have time for things like that. And also, you know why? You want to know the fundamental reason why? There are people that we have in common that I have a great deal of respect for, that really and truly they admire both of us. So I am not going to hurt that person by doing that. So I have decided to take the next level and step away from the negativity. Do you understand? I am not going to go there. No matter what might come at me, I am not going to go there, because I could go there. And then the whole internet would have turned upside down. And it would be a very unfortunate discourse to take place. And I'm not going to be a leader in that situation. No. That's not me setting a good example for my graduates. And that's definitely not me regarding that persons that we have in common. Right? So I'm going to leave it at that. And sometimes it really isn't about taking an L. Sometimes when you go quiet, it's not a loss. You understand? Sometimes when you go quiet, it's actually a win for everybody else that matters. Think about that for a moment. Now, of course, you know, when it comes to social media, people are going to consider whatever it is that they can use against you as a weapon. They will attack you based on your physical attributes, your sexual orientation. They will attack you based on how you speak, your education, your class, your past mistakes. All of that becomes weapons. It's really about how you react to that and how you rise above it. When they try to body shame me, hello, I don't even look, because listen, I know that God has blessed me. My physical is not to be questioned. And when they think they threw out pictures that were like, look, Panar, look how she tan bad, look how she shape bad, ray. What have you got to say no? I have never hidden myself. I just don't think my priority is my body. My priority is my brain and my voice. And some of us are too heavily invested in the superficial, right? A time and place for everything. And now that you have seen me, I'm pretty certain you've got nothing else to say. Most you can say is that she's curvy. And for that, I give God thanks. Right? Skin like butter. I give God thanks. What else? Let me tell you something. You can't allow people to define who you are based on their reactions to you. You have to know who you are for yourself. So, YMK, don't ask the questions why you're not celebrated. Celebrate yourself, right? Big up your achievements. Your supporters will do the same. Your genuine supporters will celebrate you as and when required. But expect that whenever we make mistakes out here in these social media streets, there is always going to be somebody there as your check and balance who's going to knock you in your place if you pass it, or who is going to make you think perhaps I shouldn't have done it that way. So the thing set. Right? Anyway, guys, as I said, I am back. Give me a moment to settle in to do what I have to do. But you don't know, I tend to advertise when I'm coming live via my Facebook page. So if you have not followed me on Facebook, please do so. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Big up yourself, graduates. This is your girl, Head Teacher K.